Yeah, so right here we've got our Clean Track L24 carpet extractor. What's nice about this is that you can do a couple of different cleaning modes for your carpet with it. So you can use it for pre-spraying your carpet chemical down on the ground, so we can give it the dwell time, let it sit, then we can go over it again, pick it all back up, boom, clean carpet. We have our regular extraction mode, so that's going to be your typical 8-hour dry time. That's the restorative step, so it's the heavy duty process. And then we have what they call their lift mode as well. I think you guys will probably use this more often, maybe even than the restorative mode. What's nice about it is that it's interim cleaning. So with vacuuming, that's our daily. Extraction, full extraction, that's our restorative. And then we need to do something kind of in between to make sure that we don't have to go from, you know, the light duty step right to the heavy duty step. So that's where lift mode would come in. It means it's low moisture and it's indirect spray, which leads to fast dry time. When I do that, if you guys want to see on the control panel, I'm going to lower this down. This would generally be my start button. Now, do you see the little emblem where it shows the brush right here and then the spray is going down directly on top of it? Mm-hmm. So that's our lift mode. So it's lower moisture, so it's not going to spray out as much water. Okay. And instead of spraying it directly on the carpet, like if I press this again, you'll see that's going to mean more dry time. Right. This is going indirectly to the carpet. So I'm spraying the brush, which is then going over the carpet. Less moisture, you'll have dry carpet in 30 minutes.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
So you guys kind of got to see how easy it is just to lower this down. It's an actuated deck, so all I have to do is press a button to lower it down, then bring it back up. There's nothing additional manual to do to start that process. You also see that these two lights came on when I did that. So my regular vacuuming mode right here. You see, I also have a vacuum mode for an off-board wand as well. So kind of like you guys saw with your with your other extractor in there, you could hook up a 2-bend wand to it.
That hose wand.
Yep. So instead of this going directly from the vacuum motor down underneath the deck, I'm hooking this up directly here, and I can use this as a box and wand style extractor. Maybe you're going in a room where this doesn't make sense. There's a lot of close things together. You know, maybe I need to get underneath those chairs over in the corner as well. Doing that would allow you to do so, okay?
So we have to extract that one, then connect it to the wand?
Yep, and if you can see right next to it, you have a quick connect right here so that you can attach for your solution. So you can actually spray out with the wand and you can recover it all from right there.
Okay, cool.
Okay? So it's located nice and easy right in the back. Should make it, you know, much.
Yeah, because ours sit right there in the front.
Yeah, yeah. So we have that option in order to do off-board. This right here indicates that when I'm going to start moving, this is going to start to spray out solution at the mode that's indicated here. Okay. So the brush will turn, and it's either going to go directly on the brush for that lift mode like I have it here, or it's going to go directly onto the carpet, okay?
And that's
just to let you know that it's on.
Okay.
That it's going to come out of that solution jet underneath the machine.
Okay.
Brittany, go ahead and ask your question.
Oh, okay. So the one that's going directly onto the carpet, that take longer to dry?
That's going to take a lot longer to dry. So that's more moisture. So it's coming out with more solution than it would be on this mode. Okay. And it's going directly on the carpet. Okay. So, you know, it'd be kind of like me spraying, you know, a microfiber cloth to then wipe something down as opposed to spraying it directly on.
Okay.
This right here would allow me to pre-spray chemical down on the carpet. So what we recommend, if at all possible, is that you only put water in the major clean tank on the machine. Okay? Chemical needs time on the carpet. It needs to be able to dwell. If we put it right down and pick it right back up, it hasn't even begun to work for us.
Okay? So you don't want no chemicals in this machine?
You don't want any chemical in your clean tank. So you could either use a pump-up pre-sprayer, or you could select this right here in order to pre-spray chemical on the carpet.
And we do that
with the chemical.
So I could put my pre-spray chemical
Oh, right here.
right in here.
Okay.
It'll be separate from the tank, so if I wanted
Okay.
to change out my chemical later, put something different in, I could do so. I'm not
Without
restricted.
affecting the water.
I don't have to drain a whole tank out of good chemical. I can
Right.
just change it out from right here
Okay.
instead. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So big benefits to that, but yes, we want to make sure just clean water is going in the clean tank on the side, okay?
This one, the other side.
To move it, pretty simple. You guys kind of saw the back. I have my turtle.
Oh yeah, we know. We got
Turtle
the
and
walk
rabbit,
behind.
right? Everybody
we
knows
got
that.
the walk
Kind of
behind.
universal.
That
Okay?
little flow scrubber.
So I want to make sure I'm going at a speed that's going to be slow enough so I'm still doing the job.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to be rushing through this. You want
Yeah.
to make sure you're being thorough. And then to move forward, you guys saw me using this, just the paddle switch, so I push it forward to go forward,
Okay.
pull it back to go in reverse.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead, everything's down, ready to go. A little slower than this. Feel it right here. You can see where this pass went through.
Oh yeah.
So we can tell we were doing the job. Okay. If I feel it, I have just a little bit of water on my hand, but not much. I started it from right about there, so I'd say
No,
pat it down right
by
here.
itself.
Oh girl, I thought I touched it. I said I just
Can't be
touched
breaking it so quickly and us having it. So we can feel this is not something that's going to take 8 hours to dry. This is
Okay.
something that I could do.
Oh yeah, cause it ain't even all that wet. Like it's wet. You
Big-
can feel it, but it's not to the point it's soaked.
Yeah.
So I see what you're
Big
saying.
facility like this, chances of nobody walking through or having low traffic areas, probably
if
slim
you
to
was
none.
to-
We gotta kinda work around
If you
them.
was to put it straight directly on there, it'd be wetter than this, right?
it would be a lot wetter than this. Yeah, I mean,
Like it'd be so-
you'd be able to see it on my hand and all that,
Wow.
where you could tell. It'll just take
Do you
want to
do like a little area somewhere on the regular mode to show them the difference between
Yeah,
how much
absolutely.
moisture
So
is going on?
So I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna make a little left here so that you guys can kind of see in that fresh little patch. So I'm gonna just change it by pressing the green button, if you remember.
No.
Make sure somebody can walk through. I don't want to get your shoes wet.
Her little toes.
So if you guys remember, just to change between the options is just that green button
Oh,
right
the
here.
green
So
button,
before you
okay.
start, all you gotta do is just hit that button and then just make sure you look at
It's
that
so
little
easy
monitor
and simple.
to see what mode it's on. That's it. So I'm just gonna hit that.
Did you just say easy and simple?
Yes.
So I've got it changed over now. You can even feel that I was able to go a lot faster in that mode than I can right now. It's regulating the speed that I can go.
There's a lot more.
So now when I'm done with my pass, I'm going to hit my red button on the control panel. Move the machine forward. There's just a little bit of a delay on that vacuum before it'll shut off, just to make sure I get all that water up and out of it. And if we open this up right here, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if you see inside, you can see how much soap is in there right now.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I got here. I wasn't with this machine right before I got here and we started. So you guys have had it for a couple shifts. I don't know if anybody put chemical in the tank. What's more likely is that they still put just the clean water in here, but there is a lot of chemical down in the carpet right now. So one of the benefits of us just using water in the machine, aside from, hey, only water runs through it, less likely for a clog, is that I can run through with just water on the carpet. And if I come back and there's soap in here, there's too much chemical that's down on that carpet. So a lot of times in the past, people have gone through, they've extracted their carpet, and there was still a lot of excess chemical that was left in there. So that's going to start to deteriorate and damage your carpet over time. We need to rinse it. We need to pretty much flush all that out with just water, or we can provide you guys with a mild acid rinse as well. A lot of chemistry involved. I wasn't really a chemistry major going through high school or anything, but the thought behind it is a lot of the stains on the carpet are acidic in nature, right? So you got your juices, you got your things like that. It's going to be acidic. The chemicals that we use to fight that are alkaline. They're on the other side of the scale because we're trying to balance it out. Over time, if we have too much of that chemical in there, we have too much alkalinity in the carpet. So we provide you guys with a little product that's just a mild acid rinse. Slightly acidic, run that through. It's going to help balance out and neutralize that alkalinity in the carpet.
Same
Okay?
chemistry as what you would be using to get salt residue out of the carpet. Something that's a
Yes.
little bit acidic is going to help break down that mineral buildup.
Yep. Yep, but the fact that we do have, I would say at this point, even a significant amount of foam in there just for doing those 2 little passes probably tells us that there's too much chemical down in the carpet. Just by us doing that one step, we're already gonna increase the lifespan of that.
So if you think about the fact that soap likes to clean, as people walk with their dirty shoes, if there's any soap residue still left in your carpet, it's going to be like a magnet and attract the dirt that's in their shoe, and your carpet's going to get dirtier faster. So you get into this cycle of having to clean and clean and clean and say, why do my carpets keep getting more dirty? I'm cleaning more. And it's usually because we're putting too much soap down into the carpet that's actually attracting more dirt.
We're just doing our job. We think that we're attacking it. We're putting all the time and effort into it that we need to, but somebody gets a little ambitious with that chemical or doesn't go over it enough with just water at the end, suddenly it's like we're moving backwards again.
Wow.
Does all that make sense? Do you guys have any questions on any part of that? I know it can be just kind of a lot. I didn't think I would ever have to recall any of that myself, but
No.
it makes sense, and if we know it, then we can understand why it's doing it, and
Right.
we can fix it at that point. Okay?
So Andy, do you want to review the catch tray real quick, just because we
Yeah.
looked at it originally, but
Yeah. So when I originally came up to the machine, one of the first things I did was I came over right here to this catch tray to pull that out. The reason why I do is with these extractors, 99 times out of 100, nobody has something like this on there.
No, they
Maybe
don't.
with a scrubber, but not too often with an extractor.
Yeah.
So-
we have one of these, and when he run it, it's like it leaves all that behind him.
Yes.
It don't pick it up.
It's either going to leave it behind because it's already so clogged up and deteriorated at that point, or it's all just going to get locked up in the vacuum shoes
Oh,
underneath
yeah.
here, in the hose that leads up into the dirty
They'll
tank.
always have to flush the hose
Or
out.
you're going to see just a bunch of it in the
And
dirty
that
tank
stuff
over
looks
time.
awful.
It does, and it prevents us from doing the job right because
So
we're
only
not
thing
picking it up
that he would have to
cleanly.
do is just pull it out and rinse.
Pull it out. She gave me a couple gloves so I could
You can.
actually take
Oh,
some
you-
of that out.
okay.
If there was really a lot of this in here, the lint.
Right.
Vacuuming it again is going to be crucial with anything extraction related.
Right.
This does help because, as you guys know, no matter how often we vacuum, there's still going to be stuff that makes it through right here. Somebody that's going to walk through after we get done. It's inevitable. So having something here that's going to catch that before it gets caught up in our recovery
Yeah.
is going to really, really benefit us long term.
Mhm.
Okay? So we want to take that out when we're done. Like you said, you grab a glove, try to get some of the bigger stuff out of there, give it a rinse, make sure it's all nice and clean. Then you can slide it in from either side.
Okay, so I was gonna say either left or right.
Left or right. You have one of these handles on both sides.
Okay,
Right there. Okay?
cool.
All that makes sense?
I like this machine. I wanna take it out.
We
Girl,
also
my
have
little car-
24-inch brushes underneath. So quite a bit. This should last you guys quite some time as well. Granted that we take it off after we're done to rinse it off, and that we do our vacuuming ahead of time. as
Every
well.
shift.
we got to do vacuuming before we
No, I'm
use
talking
this
about
every
every
time.
shift, like,
Spray
let's
it
say if, yeah, spread it every shift, or
I know
how
it
would you
can I know
recommend
it
it?
can be a hassle to do, but the short answer is yes,
yes,
because
every shift.
I'm not gonna go into a job and start using a dirty sponge or a dirty
Right.
pad with my scrubber. I'm always gonna check to see what it is that's actually helping to clean the surface.
Right.
Make
Well,
sure
he
that
shouldn't
that's
mind,
clean.
'cause, I mean, we don't clean the carpets, but it's the carpet guy that do it. We will tell him that he have to.
But with you being special projects, if he's not here, then you can run this machine. That's why you're learning.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy and simple.
It's-
It's just like that walk behind in there.
Yeah, it's simple and really, I mean, you look at it,
It's
it
really
looks
simple.
like a walk behind. I mean, it looks like they really just took the design from a scrubber itself
Yeah.
and
I
made
put
it
it
into
right
an
next to
extract.
it.
I mean, it looks that similar.
Yeah.
So when
So
we're,
he just told me basically just the buttons is really green and make sure you know which sprayer is under, either
Now,
it's
is that
under the
on
brush
a-
one, and that's, or it's just
When you
going
put it
straight
back
on
on, is that on
a hook.
yeah, so you can see how that will attach in there, how there's kind of
Okay.
4 notches
Oh,
cut
yeah,
out.
okay.
So really what I
So
just
you
need to
gotta
do,
basically just even
I just
it up.
slide it all the way in. I try to rotate it to get it up from this side if I can. If I can't, then I'll just go through on the other side and make sure that it's in place. I can always come over from the front right here. I can feel that it was just a little bit off. It was going a little bit too far back towards the front of me. So now it's up in place. Go ahead, put this on, that, and then tighten it down.
So after using the machine each time, we want to clean out the catch tray, we want to clean the brush, and we're going to empty rinse our tank.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. If you guys want to kind of try that out for yourselves as well, just with putting this on. This off. So you can kind of feel underneath that there's a little lip right here that you need to make sure that one you're flush with here and that you start from underneath it. Don't stop, we want to hear that.
Not yet.
No. Tighten this down.
Okay. I will call him in a few minutes. Thank you. Hello. Down at the end.
Ready to go.
Learning the machine.
I'll see if I can try to loosen this one up.
Learning the
in the
machine.
meantime.
And,
There we go. Just a little bit stiff, just first time that you guys get the machine.
Straight from the manufacturer, everything's
Straight
always
from-
tight.
Yep,
Wow. It's straight. It looked like it too.
yes. Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Do you have any other questions on this so far?
Charging of the machine, runtime of the machine.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna be looking at about 4-hour runtime with this machine, okay? So it should last you guys as continuous runtime.
Okay, now,
That's not,
I got a lot of questions.
yes.
Question, cause, we, another 8 or 12 hours, and that's when the next time, if he plug it up before he leave, the next time somebody gonna be coming in, it's gonna be 8 hours past. It's gonna be like 4 hour over at that 4 hours. You
Yep.
get it? It's gonna, by the time he leave, it's gonna be charged 4 hours, and then it's gonna go over additional 4 hours, because once he charges it, ain't nobody gonna be back in the building until the morning shift.
Yep.
And I don't think they gonna be able to take it off. So can it be like,
It's just unplugging.
right?
It
but-
can stay on the charger even though the battery's fully charged.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Would it mess up
Yes,
the
it
battery?
can.
Because you know, if Cornell put it on the machine tonight at 11, and Miss Betty and Jane and them get here at 9, and I don't think they gonna unplug it. And when Cornell come back, is it okay for that to be
Yes,
charged on?
you don't have to worry about the overcharging.
Okay.
When it gets up closer to 100%, it goes through a trickle charge at that that point. So then it starts to slow down, and it's a little bit of a longer process to finish that last 5 to 10% of the charge cycle at
Okay.
that point.
Okay.
And then once you're at 100%, you're good. You don't have to worry about overcharging. If we're talking about keeping it, just on the charger or off the charger, just sitting
Now,
somewhere for 6
preferably
months,
how-
that's different.
Right. Now, preferably, how long do you think this thing would die? Like, do he have to put it on charge every time he uses? Let's say if he it's been on the charger all day. He take it off, he run it for 2 hours, and then he put it back on. Do he have to put it back on the charger
Yeah,
after
so
the
you-
2 hours?
What I'm going to tell you is that it all depends on how long you're going to need it for your next shift
Okay.
and when your next shift is. Okay, so if I use it for, let's say, there's one room I have to take care of and it's done within 20 minutes or so. Do I need to put it on the charger at that time? No, I don't. And if you can avoid it, you're going to get more life out of your batteries.
Okay.
Batteries go off of charge cycles. We all like to think about batteries as you get so many hours out of it.
Yeah.
That's just not really the case. It goes more off of every time I plug it in, I use a charge cycle. So if I use it for only 15 minutes, that really should, I don't want that to take up the same amount of battery overall life as if I
Right.
use it for 4 hours. It's
Right.
it's a big gap right there. So just
Yeah,
to
that's
save
what
you
I was
guys,
asking. Like,
to save you guys some money from the battery side of it, try to really plug it in when you know you need the additional runtime for your next shift.
okay.
Okay, if you think you're going to be cutting it close, by all means, let's
Throw it on
play
there.
it safe, right? We get judged off our performance with the customers, so we have to make sure we take care of them when we're on hand, okay? So don't leave yourself short to try to save yourself a couple minutes here or there, one charge cycle. Just go ahead and plug it in if you think that you're going to need it for the next shift. Yep.
Because I was about to say, sometimes he run it, but when he run it, he only run it for like in one area and then he done with it.
Yeah. Then something like that, if you're only using it for, I'd say, even 20 to 40 minutes or so, you're probably still going to be pretty close to 80-90% overall charge at that point.
Okay.
You can go ahead and keep it on. Once you start getting down towards like 25% or so, we don't want to come in any danger of going completely dead or not having enough for the next shift. Just
Now, where's your battery?
Yep, so the batteries,
No, I mean, how does it, oh, okay.
so you have
right there.
your little indicator right
So
there.
when it goes down,
To about that, between the second and third bar.
Yeah, so once you start to get to that second bar right there, you know that you're probably at a point where it's going to have to go back on the charge at that point. 50% maybe you can use it for, a couple of quick tasks here or there. But yeah, I mean, you guys are going to start to learn this as you use it more and more too. You're going to know how much you need for certain spaces. So you're going to be the experts on it when it's all said and done.
Okay, now, do this top remain open? Because I know with the walk behind, we have to leave something open because if not,
For the air.
it will have a
Exactly.
mildew smell and
Yep.
it smells so awful.
It does, right? Because, I mean, I'm just keeping this closed and everything I picked up is just sitting in there. People do not have the cleanest shoes. They do not have the cleanest anything. When you have that many people going over one spot, when you pick it up, you got to drain that out at that point. So I made the comment to you when I walked in that it was really nice to see a machine that was sitting there, that was in great condition, that had everything done right with it. So this was off right here, so it was allowing it to air out.
Oh yeah, that where you walk behind. That was me. Cause see,
no, it was that one.
oh this one. Oh, yeah. He used it last time. I don't think so.
But the point is,
That's
it was
not
right.
You know what? You're on video, so we're going to give you the credit for it. We're going to say that you did it, so congratulations.
Thank
you
you.
for doing that. No need to pass off credit to anybody else. You took care of that. So, yes. So, keeping this open after we rinse it all out, after we drain it, we have our drain located right at the back. You guys can see with this little screw top right there. That's going to be how I drain out the dirty tank when I'm done. Rinse it all out. Keep this open when you're done. Allow it to remain open, and like you said, that just horrible smell of a machine that's been closed the whole time, not going to have to worry about it. Just clean it all out.
Andy, do we want to have any defoamer or anything in this machine?
Yes, so what I would recommend doing is taking a little bit of defoamer and rather than just putting it directly in our dirty tank, what I would recommend doing is attaching this hose right here. This is the same hose that would either go down to my clean deck underneath or for the wand as well. I'm going to take my gallon jug of defoamer, turn on the vacuum, and just suction a little bit of it directly from the jug through this hose. What that's going to do is going to coat the entire inside of this hose with defoamer, and it's also going to coat the entire dirty tank inside with defoamer too. Rather than me just putting a couple drops in there and just throwing a cup of water at the fire, this is going to go ahead and it's going to get way more usage out of that same amount of chemical right here. So it's going to coat the entire inside of this, so it's really, really, really going to help prevent any of that from building up. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Now, before I forget, I know that we were on batteries, and I want to make sure that we
Ooh,
don't
and you got a
neglect
cup
this.
holder. That's who y'all got a cup holder.
You got a cup holder, right? Inside here, we have our 4 batteries, okay? This comes, you can get different batteries with this. These ones are the lead acid batteries that are going to require distilled water to be filled up. So,
Oh, yeah.
yep, so sometimes you have the batteries where you don't have, there's no maintenance required. Sometimes you have batteries like these where you're going to have to go ahead. Yep, so and distilled water only. We're not using tap water, you're not using sink water, you're using distilled water specifically. You can get it anywhere. It's as easy to find as, I'd say, windshield wiper fluid in most places, okay? So we're gonna make sure that we put distilled water directly in each one of these caps right here. And do you guys have those daily maintenance checklists that I printed off and laminated for you guys as well? I dropped it off with the machines, okay? So what you're gonna see on there is a little chart at the very end. It's gonna show a couple diagrams of battery cells and where that water level needs to be at compared to those plates inside.
Okay.
So you're gonna be just covering it, but you're not gonna be filling it all the way up to the very, very, very top.
Gotcha.
Okay? Because as it starts to get, as we charge it, as we use it, those batteries get hot, that water starts to evaporate. If there's no room for it to evaporate, you're gonna start to see, have you seen the batteries that have like, almost looks like just dirty liquid all over them? And what? Yeah, they've oxidized over, and you can start to damage your batteries at that point. It's a costly replacement. It's one we like to avoid if we can. So as long as you fill it up right to the point with that distilled water like it shows right on the chart, you're gonna be good. Do you need to do that every day? No. Something like that is more of a weekly maintenance item.
Okay.
What I generally tell people is do it on payday. Everybody remembers payday, right? Nobody ever forgets payday.
That's every 2 weeks for us, that don't work.
And you know what? I've always found that it's a whole lot easier to assign somebody a task right after they've just gotten a whole bunch of money in their bank account, too.
Right.
All right. So you're thinking about that. It's a whole lot easier to remember that. Oh yeah, I just got to add a little bit of water to these while I'm at it. Okay.
So if you're on an every other week rotation and you get paid on Fridays, then on the alternate Friday, you can say, I wish it was payday. Oh, I got to do the water.
Okay. Gotcha.
Love the ingenuity, Jennifer.
Always thank you, Andy.
Okay. Let me slap my hand out.
Yeah, don't need to pinch you right there.
No, because last time I did that with that one behind, and because I didn't know, because they got the batteries too, you got to put water in there. And I
What to do is just make sure that this stays nice and clear. Okay, this is really where water is entering into the dirty tank. Okay, so as long as we make sure that this is clear, that water gets to get through into the dirty tank right here, and we don't have to worry about a clog or having that water having nowhere to go.
Right.
Okay, so as long as we just make sure that we take a look at that each time after we use it. And I think on that checklist I also took a picture of this little seal right here. So this little gasket, once I start my vacuum, if you guys ever see it with some of the tanks or some of these machines, I start the vacuum, you see this compressed down, right? It locks nice and tight. If that's broken, hopefully you'll hear it, because you're going to be hearing air escaping through, and if I were to put like a piece of paper or a dollar bill around it, I mean, it'd be fluttering like crazy. So we want a nice clean seal. We don't want any air to be escaping, because then that means, hey, that's less than I'm picking up. That's more work for me to do after each shift.
Any other questions right now?
Nope.
Emptying the tank?
No.
Yep, I know how to do that.
Yeah, guys, this really, it should be a pretty friendly machine for you guys. It's gonna save you a ton of time. It's got the different things in
What
place
water
that will
flow
help
in
you
here?
out. What
I
was it?
wasn't here when you was putting the water in.
Winning water in the tank. Yep, so it's gonna be right here on the side. Okay.
Oh,
So I unscrew this.
oh, okay.
Right
So we
here.
put that hose right there.
Put that hose right there. Fill it up. If I need to know how much water is in here, I've got this clear tube.
And question,
Burn it right on the side.
is this a 5-gallon tank?
No, this is about a 20-gallon tank.
Wow.
So this is gonna
So
hold.
this-
This is gonna hold quite a bit
Yeah,
for
it
you
is.
guys. Yep.
It is. Okay. Cause the wet back is, I think that's the 5 or 6 gallon in
Andy, to drain the clean tank,
Yes. To drain the clean tank, all you're gonna do is just pop this off, lower it down to your drain. Just go ahead and just let all that water run right out. So
Okay.
this is to drain the clean tank. We know it's.
there. Do we
for the
have to
clean-
drain the clean tank?
If you've got water that's been sitting in there for some time, I would just go ahead and do it. Just make sure you have fresh water in there
It'd
when
be
you
better
use
if
it.
you drain everything when you use it, and then
What's-
refill it when you.
Where you done?
What's nice about
Yeah,
how
'cause
we.
that's how Cornell do it.
So we recommend just putting the clean water in the clean tank, right? We're not putting any chemicals in there. So that is one of the benefits to that method is I don't have just leftover chemical that's just sitting in my tank that is just going to get less, it's going to get weaker and weaker over time. So by the time I do come around to use it again, I don't really even know what the strength of it is by that point. Okay,
Right.
it's been watered down, diluted at that point. So just clean water in here every now and then. Yeah, I would say if it's been sitting there for quite some time, just go ahead, drain that out. If you got a little bit left, just empty it so it's just ready for the next person to fill up and go.
You can tell it looks.
standing water gets musty no matter if there's
Yep.
Yeah,
dirt and debris in it or not. So
Exactly.
it is better to start with fresh
Yeah.
water.
cause I was about to say,